Welcome to the AI Brief, episode 168. I'm Amin.
And I'm Leah.
This is where we take the material you've shared and really dig into the latest in AI, pulling out the key insights to get you up to speed fast.
And we've got quite a mix today, haven't we? We're looking at Apple's approach, some pretty surprising moves in China during exams, AI tackling government paperwork, and even some, well, unexpected jumps in AI math skills.
Yeah, it really covers a lot of ground. Shows how AI is popping up everywhere.
Definitely gives you that broad view.
Okay, let's kick things off with Apple. Their WWDC 2025 keynote happened recently. I know with all the AI hype, you might have expected some huge, flashy reveals.
Like a big AI splash.
But the feeling from the material seems to be, well, the AI stuff they did announce felt maybe a bit understated. Compared to the rest of the industry, anyway.
That's an interesting take, yeah. Apple's usually setting trends, but here the AI features felt more like careful integrations. Not necessarily a revolution. It does lend some weight to that idea of maybe an AI gap year for them or just a more cautious pace.
So what specific did come out? The material mentioned a new live translation feature. That sounds useful.
It does, and critically it runs on device, which fits Apple's privacy focus. It handles real-time translation for messages, FaceTime, and phone calls.
Okay, and improvements to visual intelligence, like analyzing screen content.
Exactly. You can point your phone at something on screen or an image, ask questions about it, find similar products online, even use something like ChatGPT to understand the visual info.
And they touched the Shortcuts app, too, making it smarter.
Yeah, AI-powered intelligent actions and shortcuts, plus integrating tools like ChatGPT for automation tasks. And importantly for developers, they opened up access to their own on-device model via a new framework.
Why is that important?
Well, using the on-device model means developers don't need to rely on cloud APIs for certain tasks. That potentially cuts costs and keeps user data private on the phone itself.
Got it. And there was something for the Apple Watch. Workout Buddy.
Right, Workout Buddy. Uses AI for personalized voice coaching during exercise, reacting to your real-time health data.
Okay, so these are definitely useful AI features woven into the ecosystem. But compared to the massive AI pushes from, say, Google or OpenAI, does it feel like they're keeping up? The material suggests maybe not quite in sync.
That's the debate, isn't it? Is it a deliberate strategy? Wait, integrate smoothly, prioritize privacy, or are they maybe a bit behind on the core AI tech compared to the big players? The updates are solid, for sure, but the overall feel wasn't quite the big leap some expected.
Interesting. Let's switch gears completely. From Apple over to China, and something really specific, the Gaokao exams. These are the huge university entrance tests.
Oh yeah, this is fascinating. It's a prime example of AI just disrupting a traditional system. You've got over 13 million students, intense pressure, limited university places, so preventing cheating is a massive deal.
And the reaction involved AI itself.
It did. Major Chinese tech companies basically switched off certain AI features during the exam period. Intentionally.
Switched them off. So things like ByteDance's Dubao or DeepSeek or Qwen, if a student tried to use them to, say, analyze an exam question.
They just wouldn't work. You'd get a message saying the service was suspended for fairness during the exams, which ran June 7th to 10th. Other platforms like Tencent's Yuanbao and Moonshot's Kimi also disabled photo recognition during that window.
Wow, that's quite a coordinated block.
Yeah.
It really shows how seriously they view the potential for AI-assisted cheating.
Absolutely. Enough that these major companies are willing to pause core features. And it's not just that they're apparently using AI inside the exam halls too for monitoring.
So it's a double-edged sword, using AI to catch cheating while blocking AI for cheating.
Precisely. It throws a huge spotlight on the challenge AI poses to testing. How do you assess finally when these tools exist? It really forces you to rethink education and assessment entirely.
Yeah, it suggests adapting isn't just about using AI and learning, but also defending against its misuse and evaluation. That's clearly a tricky balance. Okay, staying with practical applications, let's talk about the UK government.
Right, this is a really neat case study of AI tackling bureaucracy. It's about speeding up planning decisions for things like housing and infrastructure, which, as you know, can get incredibly slow.
And a big part of that slowness is just paperwork, right? Dealing with tons of documents, often in difficult formats.
Exactly. Planning applications involve maps, drawings, handwritten notes, formal documents, millions of them, often not in great shape. So the UK government worked with Google on an AI tool called Extract.
Extract. And it uses Google's AI.
It uses Gemini. The key is Gemini's multimodal ability. It can understand text, images, handwriting, even messy stuff like blurry maps altogether.
So it can actually make sense of a poorly scanned map or someone's handwritten comment on a plan
Yeah.
and turn it into usable data.
That's the idea. It digitizes and interprets this complex information, and the results seem, well, pretty dramatic. Officials reported it can take a task that needs 2 hours for a human planner and do it in about 40 seconds.
40 seconds, down from 2 hours. That's incredible.
It really is. It's being trialed now in some local councils, and the plan is to roll it out nationwide by spring 2026. The goal is simple: free up the experts from drowning in manual checks.
Let them focus on the actual planning decisions, not just verifying details.
Exactly. Help clear those backlogs and meet housing targets.
This feels really important because it's not flashy consumer tech. It's AI fixing a fundamental government process. Maybe some of the biggest immediate wins for AI are in these less glamorous but crucial system improvements.
I think that's right. Tackling the mundane but vital tasks to free up human expertise. That's a powerful application.
Okay, let's shift again, this time to something more abstract. AI and mathematics. There's always talk about AI reasoning. How's it doing with the really hard math?
Well, there have been studies, like from Epoch AI, testing top AI models against really tough research-level math questions problems posed by leading mathematicians.
And how did they do initially?
Not great, actually. Frontier models were only getting about 2% of these problems right, which, makes sense. These are hard problems.
But something changed. The material mentions OpenAI's O4 Mini.
Yes. Apparently, there was a meeting in May. About 30 top mathematicians got together thinking they could easily stump this newer model, but they found it much harder than expected.
Harder how?
Well, one example given is a 4 Mini solving an open question in number theory, described as a solid PhD-level problem in roughly 10 minutes.
An unsolved problem solved in 10 minutes.
That's the report. And the way it solved it was interesting, too. It didn't just dive in. It looked at similar related problems first, solved a simpler toy version, and then tackled the main question. That feels quite strategic, almost human-like problem solving.
So what was the overall result from that session? How did a 4 Mini perform?
The conclusion was it's now getting around 20% of these very difficult questions right, a big jump from 2%. One mathematician was quoted calling it a strong collaborator, especially because it's so fast at exploring ideas.
But there's always a but, isn't there? Another analysis looked at an earlier model, O3 Mini.
Right. A separate Epoch AI analysis looked closely at how O3 Mini worked through problems. And while it showed flashes of sophisticated thought, it also made quite a few errors and sort of illogical leaps.
Okay.
Which led one volunteer analyst to give it a pretty memorable description, a vibes-based inductive reasoner.
Vibes-based? What does that even mean?
I know, right? It's sort of a humorous way of saying that maybe the AI isn't always following pure, rigorous logic. Sometimes it might be making jumps based on patterns or correlations that feel more like intuition or, well, vibes. Like how humans sometimes guess or have a hunch.
That really complicates things, doesn't it?
Is it?
Reasoning or just incredibly advanced pattern matching that sometimes looks like reasoning. Fascinating stuff about intelligence itself, human or artificial.
It definitely makes you think about what's really going on under the hood.
Okay, let's just slow the pace a touch and run through a few other quick hits from the material. What else is happening?
Well, on the business side, OpenAI reportedly hit $10 billion in annual recurring revenue. That's nearly double the previous year, with big growth projected out to 2029. Huge financial momentum there.
Education again. Ohio State University is launching an AI fluency initiative, basically integrating AI education across all undergraduate programs.
Sam Altman's other venture, Tools for Humanity, the WorldCoin people, they're expanding their eye-scanning orbs into the UK. They claim 13 million verified unique humans globally already.
Bit of AI drama. Meta's Jan LeCun apparently took a shot at Anthropic's CEO Dario Amodei on social media related to AGI development. Seems there's some disagreement there.
On the data front, Eleuther AI released CommonPile v0.1. That's a huge 8-terabyte open dataset of text for training models. Good news for open source AI.
Google's got VO3, fast out a video generation model that's twice as quick as before, still at 720p. Video generation is getting faster.
And creatively, Higgsfield AI is working with Suno, the AI music generator, to create music videos directly from AI songs. They're talking about hyperreal vocals and full-body motion for characters.
Lastly, an interesting metric. The percentage of U.S. companies with paid AI subscriptions stayed flat at 41% in May. That's the first time in 10 months it hasn't increased.
Yeah, it could be a sign of adoption plateauing for a bit, or maybe companies are just taking stock before the next wave. Hard to say for sure yet.
Okay, to finish up, let's highlight a few specific AI tools that seem to be trending right now. Just some examples of what's getting traction.
Sure. Clockwise is mentioned. That's an AI calendar assistant for scheduling and blocking out focus time.
Advanced voice mode seems to be about making AI voices more expressive and improving translation.
Cursor v 1.0 for coding updates include remote work features and help with things like reviewing pull requests.
Portraits, this sounds like AI coaching drawing from expert sources.
Placed app aimed at job seekers, using AI to help automate applications and prep for interviews.
Zeno, a tool for getting summaries and key points out of YouTube videos.
P20 for generating and transforming visuals, videos, and images quickly with AI.
And AI Sheets. This one helps turn study materials like textbooks or notes into things like worksheets or flashcards using AI.
So yeah, quite a range. Productivity, coding, learning, creative stuff. AI tools are really branching out.
Definitely. So today we've touched on Apple's measured AI strategy, China's drastic exam measures, the UK government streamlining planning with AI, those surprising math results, and a whole lot more.
It really paints a picture of AI evolving on multiple fronts, sometimes steadily, sometimes in unexpected leaps, sometimes causing friction with existing systems.
Absolutely. It's striking how it's both a challenge, like for exams, and a solution, like for planning documents. And then you have these moments, like the math example, that just make you rethink the potential.
We hope digging into this material gave you a clearer view of these developments.
If you found this deep dive helpful, please do follow the AI brief so you don't miss future ones.
Maybe share it with friends or colleagues who are also trying to keep up with everything happening in AI.
And as a final thought, thinking about AI reading handwritten notes or solving PhD-level math problems. If AI is showing up strong in these varied, sometimes unexpected places, where else might it quietly make a big difference next? What's a domain you haven't thought much about that AI might suddenly transform?
Something to chew on. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.